All right, beautiful. This is another episode of Tagged In with Spencer P. Today, we got Gian Lawrence in the house.
What up?
Also known as the Black Stone Fly on Instagram, and I am extremely excited for today. Gian is an avid fisherman. He runs Smokers Chophouse. We got a lot to talk about, so I'll let him get into it. Yeah, per usual, I usually like to start at the beginning. Gian, were you born around here? Did you grow up here in Tacoma?
I was born and raised out here. I was actually born in Renton, Seattle area.
Okay, sweet.
And I've moved my way around the state, all the way from Federal Way, Seattle, Renton, Tacoma, Auburn, everywhere.
Nice. Okay, cool. And then what high school did you graduate from?
I didn't graduate, but I went to Rogers High School.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you really were all around then.
Yeah,
That's like Federal Way, right?
No, that's Puyallup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, South Hill.
Oh, I'm thinking of like Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah,
or
TJ. Yep.
Sick. Okay, sweet. So growing up, what were some of the things that interested you? Were you doing good in school? Were you getting in trouble in the streets? Like, what had your attention back in the day?
It definitely wasn't school. It definitely wasn't school.
Sweet. I can relate to that.
I was like a street kid. I was a skater for sure, a graffiti writer. So I grew up like just on the streets, late night, breaking shit, smoking, drinking, partying. I kicked with everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Were your parents working extra? Just let you have full reign of whatever you wanted to do, or?
No, I grew up an only child with a single mom. So I never really met my dad, and it was just me and her. So, we're gonna butt heads as time goes on and stuff. So. Yeah, I just decided to hit the road and,
Yep, got to it. Interesting. Well, it sounds like it worked out pretty well for you. So, growing up, where'd you start working at?
My first job, I worked in Denny's.
Nice.
As a dishwasher.
Okay.
And I worked my way up to being a cook and shit. Like, I really liked Denny's. Like, I fucked with Denny's. Like, that was a cool little first job.
They always had good energy there.
I learned a lot,
There's a couple of those late night spots I might not feel as comfortable eating at, but
yeah. I worked at the one on Pac Ave across from the strip club too.
Oh jeez.
So I worked at Denny's. Yeah.
That place is wild.
Yeah.
What's that place called? Dream Girls?
They changed the name now, right?
Oh, did they?
It was like pole position? Something like that.
Oh, is that it, right?
I think it's pole position.
They still have both names advertised from what I've seen.
Okay, yeah.
I've been over there recently, but
yeah, I try to stay away.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always thought that was a restaurant pole position.
That's what they say, right? You go there and get some wings, right?
Yeah.
That's what Hooters was for.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Cool. So, so you worked in the dining, I guess, right?
Yeah, I worked in the food industry. I worked in retail. I've worked in construction, all sorts of construction jobs. I worked on the railroad. I've worked any job I can get, I've worked it for a little bit amount of time. I was a cannabis grower for quite a while.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So a man of many trades.
Everything.
Awesome. So I know what my introduction to you actually was. We'll just get right into it because I don't want to beat around the bush. I'm going to talk about fishing. So
yes,
my introduction to you was actually, I did see someone else was actually, I think it was Zach Porter had mentioned something about you.
Porter.
Porter's a cool dude.
Yeah, man.
I think that was my first introduction, and then just recently you got featured by Patagonia Fly Fishing. So how did that come about? Did they approach you?
Yeah, actually, I was approached by some really good people at Patagonia, and they had talked about this wild fish activist program, and that they wanted me to be a part of and be able to tell my story and how I'm an activist for fishing and wild fish and pushing the word of conservation. And so we did our thing, and they did a great interview on me and have been taking care of me since, and I'm sure we have a lot of things coming in the future.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear. Patagonia has always been one of those companies that, we're in business to save our earth or something. Absolutely, like that is their motto.
That's the best. It's a company, one of the only companies that I know that's as active as they are.
Yeah.
And actually putting hands on.
So I myself am an avid fisherman. I don't get it in enough, but I always like to know, like, where'd you get your introduction? What really fascinated you about fishing?
Fishing for me, I think it was a change of my life, like a big life change for me. It was a change of pace to try to kind of like find myself. I was finding myself in the wrong ways, trying to be somebody I'm not, and it's getting me in trouble. And so once I found fishing, it really just, I stuck with it. I found something that I could be at peace, and it didn't matter what I look like or, whatnot. Well, at least to a certain point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, fly fishing is not a very I don't know. I won't say it's uncommon, but it's definitely not as common as regular bobber fishing or spinner fishing and whatnot.
Yeah, it's definitely not as popular.
Once you get good at it, it's definitely an art, especially casting and learning.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to fly fishing specifically? And I have to ask: is it something you taught yourself, or did you have like a mentor who kind of helped you along the way?
To be honest, YouTube was my mentor. I was really self-taught through YouTube and whatnot. I got into fly fishing. I don't know, where was I? I was fishing on a creek somewhere, and a guy was casting across from me, and I had been fishing with a little spinner all day and not catching shit. And the dude was across from me, just destroying it, just tearing it up. Yeah, and I was like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So
dry flying down the river,
killing it. Yeah.
And that was my introduction, was dry flying on the Green River.
Oh, there you go.
And so I guess I should have asked this first. Fly fishing was probably not the first method of fishing you learned. Obviously, you were fishing.
Right. I fished with the rod and reel, just traditional for a long time.
I mean, my dad always had bobbers and hooks and worms and all that good stuff for the kids. Mm-hmm. But once you got to 10, my grandpa and my dad, they're both very avid fly fishermen. Mm-hmm. Once you got to that age, they call it booger fishing. Yeah. There's no more booger fishing after you're 10. Yep. And so from then on out, it's nothing but catch and release. And we would always go on these trips. Dope. And so my first trip out was with my grandpa, my grandma, and my dad. R.I.P. Grandma Debbie, she's no longer with us, but they would go hard. They would always do annual trips down to the Lochsaw River in Idaho. Okay. Down to the Bighorn River in Montana. And so they had friends all up and down there. And so, my first trip was down on the Green River, and my grandpa would he was helping me catching what are the bugs called that they make the little rock shell and they stick to the rock. I think
they're caddis, and then there's stonefly. But the caddis are the ones that
Oh, okay, that's a stonefly.
No, there's stonefly that stick to the rock. So the caddis is that one that's making its shell.
So he had these little specimen jars, and I would go down there and scoop them up, and he'd be able to do it. It was so cool. And that's that's what really interested me, was getting out in nature and learning, what does this mean that this bug is on this rock? Right. That means that there's probably a fish out there that'll eat something that looks like
you get really nerdy with it. I started getting into the bugs and understanding just how the river works and pocket water and picking shit apart.
Right.
It's really nerdy, and it's funny. We get out there and we're goofing around drinking beers and shit, but it's crazy. I'm 31 years old. I kneel down and play in the rocks. Right. And look at bugs the whole time.
You're running calculations and
I'm
everything.
stoned looking at bugs.
That was because with other fishing, I always felt it was just throw a power bait on a bobber and wait till something eats it. And I'm this does, this is it works, but
it's I still fish with a I forgot the word, a traditional rod and reel or whatever. You don't catch as many fish as when fly fishing, at least that you're going to take home and eat. Yeah. So I still got to eat, so,
Do you ever do, have you ever done any, deep sea fishing or anything like that?
I haven't done too much deep sea fishing. I've been out for, bottom fish, lingcod and stuff. Tuna. But I'm going out to Mexico.
Oh, nice.
In December with the Red Truck guys.
What part?
We're going to the Baja.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So I went to Puerto Vallarta with my dad, and we did deep sea fishing. It was my first time, and the whole trip, bro, everyone's gassing it up. They're bro, we had to come back early because we got tired from catching so many fish. Our hands were this and that. So we're all stoked up, and we get out there, me and my dad and my brother. And my brother doesn't even he's not really a big fisherman, but he's stoked to come out and be with us and everything. So we get out there, and 5 minutes in, boom, hook something, and we're all right, Parker, you take the first one. We're just gonna be running shifts all day.
Yeah, it's cracking.
And he caught this big mahi and reeled it in, and bro, no, it was tight.
You guys turned up.
Yeah, he bracked it in, and we're oh, bro, this is lit. And so we're all hyped, and the dude pulls it up, and it's before my dad can even grab out his phone, the dude's got it all cut up and everything ready for sashimi. And he's oh shit, I wanted to take a picture. And my dad's whatever,
Right, we're
more
about to catch more. Yeah.
So they cut it up. That was it for the next 4 hours. Nothing else came, bro. We just laid on the freaking deck, and it's too much water for me. I like being able to see where I think a fish is gonna be at.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
hard
can't
to,
see 80 feet
ocean
down.
fishing is a whole different ball game. Like, you know, I've gone ocean fishing for salmon just out in the bay and stuff, and I do not get it. You know, like,
yeah,
I really don't get it. Where are they?
I'm with you, bro. How do you know where they're at?
Yeah,
like,
it's tough.
That's a legit like needle in a haystack.
It's
you got
hard
like,
to do
you know,
that.
maybe you got a tri-hook this big in the fucking ocean, bro.
Flashing
like,
something, flashing a piece of sardine, hoping,
the
crossing
odds
your
are
fingers.
not in your favor.
Right.
It is rough, but shout out to my stepbrother, bro.
Shout
he
out.
just got married in Hawaii a couple
Beautiful.
weeks ago.
Beautiful.
Just got back, and he got to go on a fishing trip out there. And they caught like a 200-pound marlin.
Whoa.
Bro, I was so fucking
I'm
jealous,
really hoping
honestly.
I get into
like
some shit like that. I was just in Hawaii recently too.
With envy.
I was just in Hawaii fishing for bonefish.
No, shut up.
Yeah,
okay, that's
bonefish.
like my dream trip is to
Really?
go like Caribbean and bonefish.
Yeah.
Or like Bahamas and
Seychelles,
bonefish.
but yeah.
Yes, like that's
Bro,
a dream
it's
trip.
beautiful. Hawaii's that's the spot.
So that is bonefish. I was out there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's what it looks like. There, I've got a big swarm of them right here in the shallows, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that is what that looks like.
Yeah.
I almost brought my fly rod. That you don't have to have any like fishing licenses or anything out there.
No, I don't believe you need a license in Hawaii. I just went out and fished and I was fine.
It's a wild place.
It's not easy. I'll tell you that much.
Really?
As many like when I catch fish over here, it's dope. But going over there, you're working, bro.
Really?
It's not easy to catch those fish.
I'll tell you what, this guy can vouch for me. He was there. We like first day out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not using none of those like. What are those, the water shoes or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm like,
you learn
I'm
real
not
quick.
wearing one of those.
Come
What do
on.
I look like? I'm not
Come
wearing
on
no
and learn.
rashy, bro. I'm walking back from the beach, just leaving blood spots. When I
Ooh,
cut my
yeah.
big toe up good, and every step of the way, it's leaving a blood spot.
It's crazy out there, yo. Like
It's
the
all
first time
lava
I went,
rock, and it's
Yeah.
sharp as shit.
I went out like just like that, not thinking. Like I'm like, man, I'm fucking hyped. I'm about to go bonefish. Walked straight out on black coral and was just like, damn, like, what is this? And then I had to get my shit. I had to get my shoes and stuff real quick.
What island were you on?
Oahu.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah, that's a good one. We were on the Big Island.
Oh, dope.
And I've been waiting a long time to talk some shit about it, honestly. It's beautiful. I love the island, dude.
It's
so
gorgeous
cool.
over there, man. Shout out my Hawaii people I got over there.
But nobody there was happy to see us.
Yeah, you gotta.
It is
you know,
locals only, bro.
They're good people over there. It's just, you know, when you don't take care of the land over there and you
Right.
don't respect it and
I
stuff,
can
that's when it
understand.
becomes, you know, a problem. So
I can understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, not great service, but it was a beautiful place.
I'll show you Hawaii. I got some people over there. We'll
Okay,
take you
sweet.
there.
Yeah, we did a 7-day cruise where we hit all the islands, but this was like 2006 or something, like 6th grade.
Uh-huh.
And I remember staying on Maui, and it was super cool, but it was like really touristy.
Yeah,
almost,
there's areas like Waikiki and all that
Yeah,
touristy.
and
but man, I've been
not
taken
on the
to
Big Island,
just
bro.
the most. Yeah, I heard the Big Island's like a jungle for real.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's like 30 miles an hour everywhere. It's like, you know.
Yeah,
it's,
they be on
yeah,
pineapple
they're
time.
really on
Yeah.
island time. Yeah, dog. They're
They
doing
be
their
chilling,
thing.
yo.
It was cool. Much love, Hawaii. But I won't
Shout
be
out
back
Hawaii.
to the Big Island. It was cool, though. But we'll get back to fly fishing.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, actually, you know what? Really, though, tell me, how was the bone fishing? What was that like? What are some of their, like, natures? How did you...
The deal with bone fishing is it's flats fishing, and a flat is like a really flat area where the tide gets low. I mean, you're walking to your knees, so it's a big flat sandy area usually. And when the tide's low, you're walking waist to knee deep, and you can see. Well, shit, they say you can see the fucking bonefish. I can't see anything.
they're
But-
almost translucent.
Yeah, they're
you're
so
not-
hard to see, but they
You
say
gotta-
you can see the bonefish, and what the trick is to cast a good distance in front of them to not spook them. And you're going to like mimic your shrimp or whatever you're doing and strip your fly off the bottom, because the bonefish feed down towards the bottom.
Right.
And when they hit, you don't like set your rod up like a trout, you strip set.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was my problem.
Oh, yeah, you want to rip
Because
it.
I'm trout setting on these fucking fish,
they'll
bro.
spit it
and I'm-
right out?
Yeah, it doesn't even hook. And,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
That's
did
gotta be
hook one and it tore
frustrating.
me up. it was frustrating because I went just DIY.
Oh, you just
did it all on my own.
Dude, that's really what I was gonna be like. Honestly, if I would have brought my rod, but
it was go hard. Yeah. Go hard, bro.
That's what I thought too.
Do your research.
I did look it up a little bit, and there's a couple like rainbow trout river. Well, I don't know if river's the right word, but like streams.
Yeah, there's like
there is some trout fishing on.
I haven't heard of the trout, but I know they got peacock bass.
Okay, have you ever caught one of those?
I haven't caught a peacock.
That's like Florida, Amazon kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen some crazy videos where they pull a freaking peacock bass out of a storm ditch.
The Monster Mike? Yeah, you seen him? Shout out Monster Mike. He was pulling him out of the
He pulls him out of the storm ditch in Florida.
That shit is crazy. Yeah. Florida's dope.
Yeah, that's a crazy place too. Have you ever seen those people who like crossbow fish? They get the little personal skiffs.
Man, I want to be such a like Louisiana Cajun fucking river bum. I want to be that. Like if I could be anything.
Would you ever go noodling?
Yeah, I would.
I would too.
I would. I seen a video of a guy noodling. He was like, been noodling for 30 years, motherfucker only had 3 fingers. He's a champion though.
For those who don't know what noodling is, that's where you're on the embankment of some muddy ass river or body of water.
Yeah, black water.
And you're literally just feeling around for holes in the embankment. And when you find one, you stick your hand in there, and if there's like maybe a catfish or something.
Maybe, you hear that?
Yeah, there might be something else.
A snapping
you never
turtle,
know.
A fucking muskrat, a poisonous everything.
Bro. And so you stick your fingers back there and give it a little wiggle, and whatever catches, you rip it out. And hopefully it's a catfish.
He's crazy. Monster Mike. This guy's nuts, man. What he does. Fishing for pond monsters. These are just backwater, in Florida.
Dude.
Throws bread out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
dude.
piranhas. That's the first thing
Dude. I just watched this video. Guys. This guy in a kayak caught a sturgeon, which is not, all incredible thing in itself. But this sturgeon, I've never seen a sturgeon jump, bro.
They jump.
Bro, it jumped up like 6 feet in the air. I've never seen that.
They jumped like on the Columbia River one time, like a sturgeon jumped. And I like just caught the tail end of it. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, it's huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're like, the sturgeon, they jump. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They get up, fish that get up to like 30 feet long,
And weigh what, 2,000 pounds
something
or something
crazy?
Like,
yeah, the guys
they're dinosaurs.
The guys have their boats next to them.
They're
in the picture.
Dinosaurs.
They're as long as the boat. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, sturgeon lived for what, like 140 something years or something?
I don't even know how long they live.
I think they could probably outlive that.
There's the ones that they pull up that are giant, who knows how old those things are.
There's some animals that as long as they stay, that is
fed
crazy
and,
looking.
no
as long as they keep eating and nothing else eats them, like they will just live and grow forever. Like there's this weird thing. So like jellyfish are like, there's jellyfish and one other thing. I can't remember what the other one, but they're technically, not invincible, but what's that doesn't die? I don't know. It just doesn't die. The only reason it's not like immortal. A well-known immortal. There we go. They're immortal, but a ton of shit eats them, so that's what takes them out. But if that didn't happen,
what eats jellyfish?
Everything.
Really?
Fish. Yeah.
Just a bunch of shit. Oh wow. You always think of all jellyfish as poisonous because you're like, don't know. You're like, either way, I'm not fucking touching it. It could get me.
But most fish don't give a fuck, or they'll find out the hard way. My dad used to live in Australia, and we visited this beach, and out there, everything can kill you. Yeah. But one of the big things is called these blue box jellyfish.
The box jellyfish,
box jellyfish. Or actually, I don't know.
They got them in like.
I think the name's right on that one. That sounds familiar.
I know the name is right, but I don't know that that's what I'm talking about. These ones were they were really little. They were like maybe this big.
Yeah.
And the head was like an air pocket, and they would wash up on the shore. And my dad's friend is like teaching us. He's like, all right, you go stomp on it, and it pops. But these are like stupid venomous jellyfish, and we're just out here popping them. They're all over the shore, and we're running around popping them. And my dad's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Do they not? They don't sting you after?
Yeah, they can, but luckily we got shoes on and shit.
Bro.
But like,
that's nuts.
Yes.
That's kind of I was in Thailand, and they had like signs that were like, be careful, box jellyfish. And I was like, wait a second. And everybody's just out there splashing in the water, having a good time. I'm like, don't you not see the sign? Are you not afraid?
Bitch. Yeah, See, the deep ocean is a wild place. But yeah, I remember first time I saw a peacock bass, I got really interested in pursuing one of those.
Yeah, bass fishing is I dabbled in the bass fishing thing for a bit.
Did you?
Yeah, that was like when I first really was getting into fishing. I like got full kitted out bass. I was going all the lakes and ponds trying to fish for bass.
Were you having some good success out
Yeah,
here?
I
Is there
got
good
I got
bass
some-
fishing out here?
You know, there actually is some pretty good largemouth fishing. They don't get huge, but you can really get into like the farm ponds and like, you know, random little ponds that nobody fucks with really, and get some fish.
I have a so I've never bass fished. I've never caught a bass. So I have a private lake not very far from my house, and they stock it every year with trout and largemouth bass and like crappie and sunfish and all that stuff.
Put me on.
That's what I'm saying. So I might need some
Put me
help pulling a
on.
couple of these bass out of here.
No, I got
I don't
you.
know what to.
I got
like,
I got dust
don't
off
know.
my gear. I
Yeah,
got it.
Bet. All right, we
Yeah.
might have to have you out for something.
Yeah, I'll
like that.
dress up and everything. I'll dress up with bass fishing.
Yeah, we will definitely put those details together
Yeah,
afterwards.
let's do it.
Okay, cool. So, so let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on catch and release?
So I'm a pretty avid catch and release fisherman.
And you said this one was for me.
That's you. About to pour
Beautiful,
up?
yes.
Let's pour up. Oh yeah, I didn't get you
Here.
in that glass.
Okay, no, you're all good. I want to give a shout out to this. So,
Yeah, Edgar.
my brother. Yes, I'll let you tell the people.
This is the Valentine glass that Edgar made. It's beautiful.
Well, that's dope, man.
Yeah, this is like really good for some of my showers. And he's got his designs on here. The dude is just
He was on
quality
TV,
art.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on
He was
Netflix.
Blown Away on Netflix,
Yeah.
season 1, right?
Shout out to you, Edgar,
Local Tacoma guy. Shout out to you, Edgar.
and all the Tacoma glass blowing guys down there. Ben, all of them.
Yeah, shout out
Honestly,
Ben Johnson.
I'm glad you brought that in because we've been needing like a set of nice glasses for the studio, so we might be commissioning you guys for some glasses here soon.
Yeah.
Dude, look at that.
You wanna try this?
I do.
Yeah, knock
Please.
that back.
So where?
Ooh, I can't tell you where I get them from.
No.
I'm just
I want to know where
I'm
it
just-
started from. Where
The sour thing?
Just all the hubbub, bro. These came
Yeah,
out
I
of
know.
nowhere, and people are paying $7-8 a beer and
They're
making
paying
missions
more
down
than
to
that.
Portland. Like,
Yeah.
where did this come from, bro?
Man, I mean, they've been around really, but the craze started coming around, I think,
Wow.
locally with companies like,
This is my first time. This is crazy.
I want to say Great Notion and like Oakshire, a couple companies in Portland that really started pushing out a lot of sours on the West Coast. The East Coast's been doing it for a minute. The East Coast's been on sours and adding lactose and stuff like that. back
Oh,
in-
really?
Yeah.
They've been doing that?
Yeah.
Hasn't E9 released a couple sours?
Yeah, E9's got some sours.
Oh.
They're
I
not
had
like
one
as
about
punched
a year
with
ago.
fruit.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of these ones that are dark like this are really punched with a lot of fruit and lactose. But like some of them are true sours. Like E9 makes them really
Right.
good, like real sours is what I would call it.
It really feels like they're putting out like liquid candy. Some of these flavors and
That's what
stuff.
it be feeling like, too,
it's
after you
liquid
drink a
liquor
few of 'em.
candy. Like it gets you drunk. Because I have been seeing some of these flavors and concoctions, and Edgar's always pouring up, so you get to see like
Yeah.
the makeup of it. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, I started pouring mine up too. I was really getting some dope ones from my guy. Shout out Beer God. He is like my plug. That's my guy who I get all the fire like new shit from, and I travel around a lot too, so I'm always bringing beers back. I'm stuffing my
Nice.
suitcase full of crazy beers.
So there is like a nationwide market. There's people outside of just like there's
It's
a whole
active.
East Coast
It is
scene and
crazy.
everything.
Yeah, it is active.
I might need you to put me on to a couple guys because
I got a dude on the East Coast, man. His name is Brewju. He's dope. He's my
Brewju?
dude. Yeah, Brewju. He is my guy. He's come over to my and hung out with me, and he brings a cooler of just crazy brews. Like cats are paying like $15 a can
Wow.
for this
Yeah.
stuff
It's
to be
good,
shipped to
though.
their
It is
house.
no
Do you go
joke.
to, have you ever checked out the store Pint Defiance?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Pint Defiance
is
is-
usually where I find.
Hey,
my
shout out
dude
to them.
Xander, he works at Edison Ale House now, but I originally met him at Pint Defiance, and really cool dude.
They helped me throw a benefit for the homies memorial. We raised a boatload of money for his family there. Shout out to them.
Dope. Very
They were
dope,
cool as
man.
fuck about it. They
Yeah.
really put up for the city on that one.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, these the whole beer thing has been cool. So thank you, bro. This is my first one. This
Absolutely.
is incredible. You said
Cheers.
this one was a stout.
Yeah.
And that one's a sour.
Yeah, this is a
All
sour.
right.
So.
I'm not like a huge beer guy. One usually does the job for me,
Yeah,
especially
these
like
ones.
anything. Yeah, exactly.
for sure. Yeah, I don't drink really much. Like this one has 8.3%.
My producer and my stepbrother, they just went and did the Dave Matthews Band out at the Gorge.
Yeah.
And they had some neighbors fly in from somewhere. I'm sure that he could tell the story better, but I'll tell you how the story ends, and it's about 90 light beers in my fridge, bro. Their neighbors just left everything. They said, fuck it, we're not taking nothing with us, bounced out.
That's awesome.
And my stepbrother came back. He's got like 230 racks of like Miller Lite.
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's the
sweet,
shit you just sit on.
What we're doing.
You just sit on that for a bit, you know. Let that happen. That's what's up, man.
So what were we talking? We were talking about
fly fishing and beer.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I had started to ask something. Man. Oh. So, and now you run Smokers Chophouse, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that. How it started. What all you got going on? Because I've been seeing you throwing like actual events and getting some real cover art done for your flyers and everything.
Yeah, that art. Yeah, that's Delaney. She's Delaney Saul. She's an amazing artist.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's really doing me some good work. Yeah, I started doing Smokers Chophouse, and I started cooking a while ago and selling plates out the back of the house. Pretty much, I was jigging plates in the alley.
Doing the to-go plates.
Yeah, to-go plates, and they were doing really good with the barbecue. And so I wanted to just kind of take it to more than barbecue and more than just selling it out the alley. But I didn't want to really get a food truck, and I didn't want to get a restaurant.
Right.
I wanted to still feel exclusive, almost like a fucking trying to get a pair of Jordans. You know,
right.
like, you know, they're
it's
rare. Yeah, and so I decided to do pop-ups and kind of have them be a little bit different than a regular pop-up on the side of the street. So you can come up to my house and hang out and have beers, and and people will be there. I'm gonna be doing ones with playing Tiny Desk on a projector screen, and you know, having Seattle dogs, all sorts of different, you know, type of events. So Smokers has been a really cool endeavor, and there's a lot coming up with it. We actually have Smoky Karaoke.
Yeah, I was seeing that.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. And
where are you guys doing that at?
That's at my boy's place called Coffee Pot, and that's in Lakewood. It's a really cool cafe, cannabis-themed cafe.
A cannabis-themed cafe?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm going to have to pull up for that. When is that?
They got the weed-shaped pizzas.
Oh, nice.
They got it.
What's the date for that?
That's going to be on the 24th this month.
Beautiful.
September 24th. So yeah, come through and get your voice ready.
Yeah,
I got all the songs you want, not the ones that you've heard. You know what I'm saying? The good ones.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a part-time thing, really. But how was it like, kind of putting the business together? Like, do you because I know the to-go plates really got popular through the pandemic with all the restaurants closing. Exactly. Were you in business before that, or did you kind of pick up on it during that?
I picked up on it there. Like I had a lot of time myself, and so I was always smoking meats in the backyard. I had been doing it for a long time, and always would make an abundance.
Have you kind of always been into like culinary? Or?
Yeah, always. I've been a food buff. I'm a food freak.
Interesting. Yeah. And so, that's what I was gonna ask. We brought it right back. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on catch and release? I
do catch and release. Good working. When it comes to like certain species of trout, like steelhead, rainbow trout that are native to the state and things like that, I absolutely catch and release. I practice it as far as conservation and preservation. But when it comes to like an abundance of salmon, hatchery salmon, especially, that's when I do take home fish. I do like to fill the freezer up with all the goods that our state produces. So, yeah, I mean, it has its time and its place.
And just to clarify, that's like net catching and whatnot. Like you said, hatchery.
Hatchery. So the hatchery produces little fish. The little fish go down the stream, grow up to be big fish, and come back to the hatchery.
Right.
So, but you can tell the difference between a hatchery fish and a wild fish because the hatchery clips this fin called the adipose fin off.
So
they'll have a nubbed fin down there.
Wait, the hatchery is the
The hatchery is like the Puyallup hatchery or...
Okay. That's the business running the...
That's the business, is the fish hatchery.
Okay,
it's the state ran usually, or tribal ran.
Okay, and then they release those?
They release the fish.
And you catch those individually?
You catch them. You'll catch them in the mix with wild fish.
Yeah, but hopefully you'll release the wild and keep the hatchery? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if the numbers are correct, like you can keep wild fish.
Yeah. No, I was
if the numbers are right.
For me. Yep, sweet. Because I grew up strictly like catch and release, and for me it was never a problem because I never really liked the taste of fish. Only recently have I kind of like grown to like it. But to be honest, until recently, like I grilled fish or grilled game meat or anything like that. Like I don't know, maybe it's just because of the rise in popularity. Like people have gotten a lot better at cooking it as of recently. Like before, it was just fry it up till it's good to go.
It was always cooked by like one of your uncles in your family, and you just threw some shit together.
So I don't know how much of that was just not well prepared fish or whatnot. So I've been trying to get back into it and eating more fish. But I specifically, I don't know. I don't think I ever do any salmon fishing because I just don't know how to do that fly fishing really. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no.
And you need, I would imagine, a bigger rod than what I'm rocking for like a stream and a trout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Again, just
the right gear is
not what I'm
necessary.
set up for.
But it's fun, man. Like to get out there and just really get after salmon with a fly rod is crazy fun. Coho, just being able to like have the feeling of catching your fish and putting it on the table too. Salmon season is the time.
Actually, I do remember my homeboy would tell me, I can't remember the actual like what he called it, but essentially you're fly fishing, you're salmon fishing in a river with like a 12-foot saltwater fly rod, and you're just whamming it, like 60 feet down there.
And it's just like,
And you're running it upstream, and then they'll hook it, and you're essentially fighting the salmon, and it'll take it run off, and you're 80, 100 feet out fighting the salmon. That's on a big 12-foot rod.
That sounds like it's called plunking is what it is. Like you can plunk off the bank where you'll have like a little triangle weight, and it'll go up, and then you'll have a leader that runs off it that has a spinner on it.
Exactly.
And you throw it out as far as you can, and it goes down, and it just spins in the current and pulls it, and the fish come up and they just
wham it, and
that's
then
dope.
You're fighting a big old salmon 100
that's
feet
a
out.
really good way to get quality fresh fish.
We were like, dude, we were drunk in the downstairs of my parents' house, and he's telling me about this, and I just remember being in like awe. I'm like, that sounds incredible. We need to like go figure this out.
It's
bro.
dope. You can do that down to Columbia.
I was really enamored with that idea.
Yeah, you just get a case of beer and like a little grill and plop down the sand, and like it's dope.
So have you taken any like trips specifically for fly fishing or anything like that?
Yeah. I've been I've fished like all over the like west side of the country. Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah,
really,
Oregon, yeah.
Have you been on the Bighorn, the Locksaw?
I haven't been on any of those. I've been on the Blackfoot, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Sweet. Those are obviously the only two I know.
Yeah. Those are really well known rivers though, definitely. Yeah, all over the state here. So I've been to Mexico.
Oh, you have. So what's been like? What is your like most preferred way of fishing? Like, what is your most... If you could pick any trip in the world, money's not an option, like, what would you go fish for and where and how today?
Money's not an option. Where am I going? I might go fish the Seychelles. There's a place called the Seychelles, and I believe it's Caribbean. I want to say it's Caribbean, but it's insane.
What kind of fish are there?
All like GTs and like bonefish and just giant saltwater fish, but they're in like flats areas.
Right. So it's only up to your knees.
To them, and your knees, and you're fighting them either there or like honestly going up to Canada or like Russia to fish steelhead.
Oh, really?
Russia would probably be number one.
Interesting.
Russia's crazy. They've got crazy amount of fish, giant rainbow trout, giant steelhead, all sorts of fucking Russian fish that are crazy. It's dope.
I got an account for you guys. You like this? Here, I'll show you real quick. I follow this Russian fisherman. He's a deep sea fisherman.
This is exactly what you want to see. This is gonna be great. Russian fish is ooh.
All this shit is just fucking crazy.
Oh.
This is where we need to get some scientists at, because this shit.
Wow.
I found this dude a couple years ago, and so every time I lose this page for a little while, and then
I like how it's like all in Russian too.
I know, this is hilarious.
Like, look at
What
this.
the hell?
Ooh.
Bro, that looks like a praying mantis
It's a
of the sea.
shrimp mantis.
Ooh. Yeah, the ocean trips me the fuck
That's
out,
dope.
bro.
Oh, look at that big ass crab.
Oh, dude, I just seen
Oh,
one.
this is the one
and it
that
had
actually popped up recently
6
to
foot.
me.
Did you see that one with 6 foot arms? It's just like it's a big ass crab like that, but its 2 front teeth were like 6 feet long. It was like.
You know, we eat a lot of Russian crab instead of like, it's not actually king crab that we get over here a lot. It's this crab from Russia. That's that's like a king crab, and they just label it king crab. I just found that shit out. Yeah.
So I had a conversation with someone at Whole Foods, and they had like wild Pacific salmon, and then they had Atlantic salmon, and I'm like, just asking this dude some questions, and he's like, you should have the Atlantic salmon, and
No,
I'm like,
I should not.
I'm like, now how in the fuck does that make sense, bud? Pacific Ocean's like
Right
20
there.
minutes,
Yeah.
15-minute drive. What the fuck you talking about, the Atlantic? And he's like, well, it's in the same water. It's just an Atlantic salmon. I'm like,
No, bro.
what the fuck are you talking about?
He's wrong.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, they do the fish farming.
What in the fuck?
Yeah, that is Russia. So like when I said I wanted to go fish, that shit is what I'm trying to stay away
That's
from.
some Nat Geo shit.
Yo,
That is rough, bro.
you ever seen that little? They had fish like that on the little fish place on Pac Ave. You guys
Oh, the
remember that shit?
monkfish.
You remember that shit back in the day? You guys don't remember that?
I don't
on
think
Pac
so.
Ave used to be this place called Tropical Fish.
Oh yes, bro.
Yeah, you see, it's broke down now. It's
Yeah,
been there
I do.
forever, and nobody's bought it. That's because shit like that lives
They
inside
sold
of it.
monsters.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
crazy.
Were you ever into like fish tanks or anything like that?
No, man, I wouldn't. I wanted a saltwater. Everybody wants a saltwater tank because it's beautiful.
Right.
I want one like the doctor's office, you
Of
know.
course.
But
That was the best part of going to the
that was the
dentist.
nicest fish tank there is,
Seeing
but
what's
no,
new.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool. I got a this
Not
guy.
real.
Oh, I was gonna say that's
why.
mad poisonous if that's real. Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
all right, we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
Don't need
Can
to
they
read
see
Russian.
this shit? Can
Yeah, they can see all this.
Don't
We
need
are
to
out
read
here.
Russian to
Jesus. So my dream trip was always going to like Patagonia and like South
Yeah,
America and doing
that-
like through
oh, see,
Argentina and
That's another one of my
so
trips too.
they got like the Golden Dorado out there, but they have fuck, dude. I was trying to.
You already know the Golden Dorado.
Yeah, I think that's the
That's like
one.
all time.
Yeah.
That's just, it looks like the craziest,
Oh my God, bro.
sweatiest horse ride through the fucking jungle, for gold. It
It
looks
looks
like
like
you're
a
going.
Trojan warrior of a fish.
It's
like
crazy.
yes, bro. They're super cool. Look one of those up. Like they're the fastest, biggest, meanest motherfucker in the Amazon.
This
And
is a cool fish.
Golden Dorado. Dorado.
This is a crazy fish right here.
Yeah, there we go.
So it's like, it doesn't even look like crazy huge, but it's how mean they
it's-
are. And this isn't even, it's the dudes that are in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
That you want to go in the jungle, right?
Like literally through. So the Patagonia River runs through Argentina, and there's like a
Yep.
couple like specific lodges up there. Already, the whole trip
Oh, you
is
got
like
it. Look at-
25K. Yeah, 25K for like 4 people.
Racks.
Yeah.
That's because you're really going on
For
an
4
excursion
people. Yeah,
through the
yeah.
jungle.
No, you have to make it up there. Like you gotta fly into the airport, and then you gotta get a boat ride up the river, like
Boom.
to the lodge. like-
Automatic sketch right there. It's
Super
that's
sketch, bro.
You tell me I have to get in a boat to go up the river. This is crazy
Bro,
dangerous
it's
automatically.
nutso.
I'll go though. I'll go with you. 25 racks. We're gonna have to get somebody to send us.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I think with 25 racks, you can find a safe way in there.
I'm going to Russia.
That's not a bad call.
I'm gonna go to Russia. I might not make it out, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I always thought that would be super cool. Just to, honestly, that's where I see like, when you think about retirement age, I just see a little cabin somewhere with a stream, like my own stream nearby.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I can't ask for anything more
There you
than
go.
that. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you about this. Have you heard about like the Pebble Mine in Bristol Bay?
Absolutely.
Okay, you might be a little bit more educated than I, but can you tell the people what's going on and maybe give a little insight?
Yeah, pretty much. They're trying to, they're trying to take over the best a salmon spawning habitat there is
in the world.
Pretty much in the world.
They just broke records, correct?
Oh man, the largest run that's been in my lifetime.
Yeah, I think it. So if I was reading correctly, they said 58 million in 2018, which was the most. 58 million salmon went through this hatchery location, just like you were talking about, to make it back upstream to spawn. It's 58 million, and that was the most since like 1889.
Yeah.
And then just last year they broke 62 million, which is a record they'd never seen.
Yeah. It's been wild. It's just showing what you can do, what our world can do. What if you leave things alone and let stuff happen the right way.
Yeah.
It just shows, man. It's crazy. I've never seen a salmon run that big. I don't think anybody really
Have
has.
you been there before?
I haven't been to Bristol Bay, but I've been to Alaska.
Okay. I haven't been to Bristol Bay either. I honestly haven't fished Alaska either. But
I've fished it for a second. I didn't get to really do the work that I wanted to, but
here, pull that back up.
it's gorgeous. But yeah, Pebble Mine is we're actually working our way towards a win. Is what I don't want to speak too early, but
who's we?
The fishermen and the environment.
Yeah.
The environment. Yeah.
So I just read something new just happened the other day. So this is like the first petition I've ever signed, like myself.
Good,
you know what
man.
I'm saying?
That's awesome. If that's
and
the
so I've been
one to
getting
do.
updates. And so just yesterday, the Trouts Unlimited won their appeal to the EPA.
Yes.
They were saying so. 2000, Obama had started setting up some EPA protections for the area, and then when Trump came in, he just axed them, and so they never got finished. And so essentially, I don't know if we mentioned it, but they're trying to build like a large copper and gold mine right at the mouth of Bristol Bay, which is this large hatchery area with like over 21 miles of, or not 20, like over 21 entries to thousands of miles of rivers.
Crazy.
Spawn
Everything
area.
goes right there. If you've ever seen the pictures of the sockeye salmon there, the whole fucking bay is red. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like you can see it.
Look up Bristol Bay hatchery run. And so they want to put a big ass mine there. It's gonna go like gonna go like a couple miles down, and I think it's like 1,000 miles out or something. I don't. You'll have to look it up specifically.
Yeah, it's giant.
It's a giant mine in the worst place. So essentially, the EPA had some essentially like a CARES Act for the land, where they had worked with like locals and scientists in the area to put together like just some like, at least some guidelines of like, hey, this is way far not cool. This is like, maybe we can work with this.
Yeah.
And then Trump came in and axed that. And so Trout Unlimited came in and sued the EPA and Pebble Mine and said, no, that's not right. Like we need, and the Court of Appeals just sided with them. And so now they'll be so they'll be working with the EPA to put together a new like it's at least a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
it's
a big move from where we were years ago.
Right.
And
this has been going on since about 2016 or 20. Might even be before that.
Before that, before that, it was on its way.
That's maybe when I signed the petition.
Yeah, I signed it. I've signed a couple. I don't know what I've signed, but anything I see, I usually try to read and sign it. I started seeing the stickers when I don't know how old. I've seen the No Pebble Mine stickers for
Defend
years.
Bristol.
Defend Bristol.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's sad. I don't like to see that stuff.
It's crazy what's going on with the environment right now in the fish world, and it's sad, especially down here in our states too, with steelhead. And this, I don't know if you know anything about steelhead.
Enlighten me.
So steelhead is like pretty much a rainbow trout that spends its life in the ocean,
right?
And comes back into the river like a salmon. It's an anadromous fish, but it doesn't die. It doesn't spawn and die. It spawns and goes back out again.
Really?
So
I didn't know
they get
that.
up to really large sizes.
So because for a salmon, they go out to the ocean, and when they make that come back to spawn, they spawn and they die, and that's the end of their life cycle.
Yep.
So a steelhead trout goes from the river out to the ocean, comes back to spawn,
and goes back
and rolls
out again.
back out,
and then comes back again,
and keeps getting bigger. Just as fish do. As long as it lives, it gets bigger.
I think up to like 5 or 6 years, on the really, really huge ones. Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
It's insane. And so those fish are native to here in Alaska and Oregon and all other places. But like with ocean conditions and deforestation and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in water temperatures, they're not returning, and they're being killed at high numbers, and netting and all sorts of stuff. And that's like the biggest health indication of like river health.
So what's to blame? Is it the commercial fishing?
Everybody.
Just everything an amalgamation of...
It's fucking people are the blame.
Really?
Because we're here. Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's the problem. Yeah, so we're to blame. So right now, everybody's working really hard to try to figure out like the best method of going about this. Right now, fishing's pretty much closed for steelhead in a lot of places because the numbers are at
it's really that low?
Oh, they're stupid low.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I haven't heard any...
It's panic mode right now. We're in the red.
Wow.
Yeah, we're in the
I
red
didn't know
zone.
this.
Yeah. So that's a big thing that's going on that I'm even kicking myself in high gear. If I want my daughter to be able to enjoy the steelhead that I did, you know, I enjoy the fucking tail end of the shit.
Right.
And if I want her to even be able to see one,
I expressed
you know.
the same fear to him while we were in Hawaii. I was telling him, I'm like, look, like I remember I came out here in 2006 and I went and snorkeled and it was beautiful.
Oh,
it was beautiful. I'm not that confident it's gonna look the same as
it's not.
And like I got out there and I was I really didn't get any snorkel. Like we did one snorkeling trip which was really cool, but it wasn't snorkeling. We just had our face in the water for the manta ray thing.
Yeah.
It was cool, but it's not snorkeling. But like that was I told him, I'm like, I want my kid to grow up and like see coral reef. Like I went to the Great Barrier Reef. I was in Australia. Wow. Like I did the Great Barrier Reef. Like it was incredible.
Before it's dead, now it's gone.
They just lost 30% in the year 2015. Like
they declared it like completely gone.
Yes,
now.
bro. Oh, that's what it is. It's like
it's done. There is no more Great Barrier Reef.
Shut up. It's not that bad.
It's all bleached.
Yeah, it's bleached out. Isn't that how heartbreaking is that, right?
Bro,
isn't that heartbreaking as fuck?
We're in Hawaii and my brother puts on that motherfucking Netflix documentary about the coral and stuff, and I'm like, dog, we cannot watch this here. Like I can't stomach it. It hurts my heart.
Sick,
like
bro.
I honestly, like, I don't get to do it enough, but like my if there was one activity that was truly like meditative, it's fishing. Like
yeah,
and it
is.
If my kid doesn't get to grow up and I don't get to do that with him and take him on trips and motivate him to take me on trips when I'm older, and like you know, that was like the bonding time with my dad and my grandpa. If we weren't fishing, like we were doing, you know, we're all doing our own thing, but we could get together and fish every time.
Yeah it's a sad thing, and I'm like kicking into high gear to do anything I can to try to like do my part to, you know, it's therapy for me. It changed my life. So like if I can bring that to other people, then do it. And if I can inspire like cats that don't normally fish or don't think they can fish because it's not cool or some shit to get into it, and
that's
then want to
bullshit. Get out
save
there and
this
fish.
shit. Yeah, come do this shit. Come save this shit, because this is it means something to everybody pretty much.
So we should talk about conservation, because that is just as big a part as enjoying.
Huge.
Is making sure it stays around.
Yes,
so what are some things you can do? Maybe we should have just a general conservation talk, but like
just simple things. I mean, like obviously the one thing that everybody can do is pick up trash.
Easiest.
That's the easiest thing.
Please.
3 pieces
that means
of
cigarette
trash.
butts too.
Everything.
If you smoke, put that shit in an ashtray in your car. That does not mean hucking on the side of the highway. That's fucking littering, and it'll catch a fire. Just don't be stupid. Put that shit in the butt.
Always stuffing trash in my backpack when I go fishing as much as I really can, if I can get it. You know, just putting in your effort, just a fucking small effort, and like you always feel so good when you do like a good deed. Anyways, like this is like a true good deed, even though you might not feel like you're doing a dent. Like if you could inspire people to just do simple shit. You can volunteer at your local hatcheries, or like you can volunteer with like Trout Unlimited.
This is depressing.
Yeah, that's just sad, isn't it? You can volunteer at all sorts of like wild fish conservancy groups. There's a bunch of things you can do online for wild fish here in Washington, especially.
So there's a lot of like maybe misinformation or misgivings, or just careful.
We could.
Just kind of counterintuitive. Like I can understand how it maybe is hard for someone to see someone who fishes, who pulls a live fish out of the river, and think he has Did you fuck? Oh, yep.
I got
you
it.
got
Yeah,
it.
I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't.
Sorry, I know, dude. It happens to the best of us, but yeah, I know, I can see how it's easy for someone who maybe isn't experienced in the field to see how someone standing in a river pulling a fish out of it, yanking it, and going eating it, maybe doesn't have that fish's best interest in mind. But
it
like,
doesn't. We're here and we eat fish, and we've already like made our mistake. We're so deep in it.
well, but what I was saying was, as a conservationist, like the people who are out there enjoying the kind of activities like fishing or hunting, like those are generally the people who do have nature's like best interest in mind, I think. And
I
like
agree.
a lot of people don't understand that like hunting tags, like hunting is, I don't hunt personally, but that's because I'm not experienced enough to feel confident to go out there and do it. Given the opportunity, I definitely would, and something I do plan to
It's fun.
try at
Hunting
one
is
point
so
or
fun.
another. But like in order to go and kill an animal like that, you have to buy a hunting tag, and that hunting tag can be, I don't hunt, but it can be a couple $100 depending on what animal it is, and 80% of that goes back to the wildlife fund. I can't remember specifically what it was.
Fuck, man. We wish 80% of it.
Is
went
it not
back to
80%?
that.
Okay, I might be talking out of my ass.
No, you're good. That's what we, that's what we've all been told is a chunk of it goes back, but
is it not as such?
It's state. It's like tax money and stuff. It's just,
then who knows where it goes?
State,
I don't think so.
This state with money is just
I don't want to even get like political crazy, but like
no, because I mean it's everybody.
We definitely can, but
it's
all
state,
it's everybody.
Right? So,
hey, we can get crazy and talk about the government, but before we do, on their behalf, I think I have seen it. So Teddy Roosevelt, he was the one who signed all the, he was like truly conservation. So he signed, will you look this up, Casey, the Conservation Act of like 1900 whatever the fuck he was. And I think it's written into, I remember seeing this somewhere, it's like written into law that money has to go back to conservation. Like it does not get spent elsewhere. It gets spent in conservation. But I'll let you look that up.
I want it to get spent in conservation, and like, don't get me wrong, obviously money goes towards it because we wouldn't have it at all, but it's just lacking as far as hands-on and people that would put attention towards it, bring the hype to it. It needs to be kind of a hype thing, like like these fucking beers are, like shoes are.
Right.
It's like,
you're absolutely
as far as even like clean drinking water and things like that, it goes all the way down past the fish to the water and why they're not coming back. Like shit's bad.
Yeah, So I don't know if you've heard like the argument. So most of like specifically when we think of what can you do, we go automatically like it's like it's your fault or my fault or his fault, or like it's down on the individual person. But like I don't like that, because as much as obviously you should pick up trash if you see it. If you're in nature or anywhere, you should pick it up. Is that gonna bring the steelhead back? No.
It's
Whose fault is it that the steelheads are gone? Probably in one way or another, it's a corporation of some sort. Like it's big business. It's out of your hand. Like some of the biggest polluters are like the U.S. military and stuff like that.
Greenhouse
like,
gases.
We can get into some wild
stuff.
Conversations, but I don't want to feel like it's futile though. I need to if the individual can fix it, I sure hope we can get a system together that everyone can kind of follow on, instead of just saying do your part. Like I wish someone would be able to come up with like an actual system that's like
literally
hey,
what I was saying. It's like we're getting to the point where
because
everybody's trying to get together and figure out really
real answers.
What really needs to
even
be
if
done.
you go vegan, the factory farming is still going to go on.
Going
Someone else
vegan
is going to eat
not
it.
even the healthiest thing for the world at all.
No,
actually.
but you can see how that kind of, if I do this, then that will happen kind of thinking, and that's just not how it works. Like I don't know what the answers are, but obviously what we've been doing isn't working.
It's not working.
It's scary, bro.
Yeah,
I just want my kid to be able to fish. That shouldn't be asking too much.
That's why I feel like it's necessary to bring attention to it in places that fishing is necessarily not popular, in communities that fishing is necessarily not, sought after, in inner city communities and BIPOC, whatever you want to call, like people of color. That shit, everybody, we get out there with the white kids, and everybody, like an age group needs to like be hands on. We need that really badly.
Well, and I think it's probably going to be up to us to take our kids.
100% up to us. Yeah.
I mean, if
set the pace, we gotta set the pace.
Yeah, we gotta set the pace quick because we're already behind. We're
just now fucking, just everybody's hitting 30, and now we got to be activists because the world's dying.
Yeah, if you don't have kids already, don't start. We don't have enough room for them, but I'm just playing.
On the next episode.
Yeah, no shit. But for real, no. Teach your kids. Let them know that nature is the shit. Because here's the real deal. Spill. If society collapses, all you got left is nature, and if we fuck that, we might really be shit out of luck. I don't know what to tell you.
We will.
Because
nature
here's the
is
deal.
it. That's it, man.
If the steelhead aren't returning to a place like Seattle, which was built on fishing and water and ports, and there's almost nothing more important than our waterways and our fish, and it's fucking,
Yeah, it's bad.
If it's happening here, where else is it happening? Right. Everywhere is being touched by this. So I definitely don't want to end this on a negative note that.
The keep it real note.
Let me. What kind of upcoming plans do you have in Tacoma? Who's some people who's giving you some inspiration? Who deserves a shout out while you got the mic in your face?
Shout out to so many people, man. Shout out to everybody: Glenn, Andy, JP. Shout out the women in my life. Shout out my children. Shout out Tacoma, because right now everybody's really got everybody's back and everybody's feeding off each other like crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen from Tacoma.
And keep it up.
Like, we're bubbling big time. We've been bubbling. Shout out everybody at ETC and everybody doing music. Shout out my mom. Shout out everybody that's been putting on with fishing, Red Truck, Patagonia.
That's what I meant. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're good. Yeah, no, shout out Red Truck, man.
Yeah.
Red Truck, that's James Park. Has become just an amazing friend, and has really is the one that has given me this. He's the first person to even post my picture, on of me holding a fish. Like, he's my guy, and put a rod in my hand, and yeah, I've just hit the road running and bringing him along with me as much as I can. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And any upcoming promotions? You said you got Smoky Karaoke coming up.
Yeah, Smoky Karaoke's coming up on the 24th. I have my movie releasing soon, my short film.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Do not. Okay.
You want to talk about it?
Yes, please. Don't. I saw the little trailer for it.
Yeah.
Please.
You fucking with it?
Yes. Please inform me.
You.
I couldn't find it. Is it on YouTube? The trailer? At least?
You won't. No, that trailer that's on my actual page on the Black Stone Fly.
Is that where I found it? I was trying to find it today to get.
Yeah. So that it leads to the page is the Black Stone Fly Mpvie.
BlackStoneFlyMovie.com.
Yeah. Well, it's the Black Stone Fly Mpvie. It's the Instagram page. It should be connected to that.
The Patagonia?
The one down. Keep going to the video to the right.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And if you click that, that is the page that goes to.
All right, pull this up, give it some volume.
So these dudes are really cool. They came to me a while ago, and we've all become really good friends. And they came to me and pitched this project, and we went for it, and it is beautiful.
Is it already all filmed and complete?
It's already filmed and completed. Yeah. We have other stuff coming up as well.
Damn, so no chance I can get a cameo?
Yeah, I got you. I got you on the next one. We got some stuff coming up, but
I'll hold you to it.
This is the teaser for it. It's just called the Black Stone Fly, and right now it's a short film that's making its way through the film festival rounds right now.
So, while we watch this, how did you get the name the Black Stone Fly? Is it just pretty on the face?
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The stonefly, the Black Stonefly, is like something that's pretty much in everybody's fly box. It's probably one of the most useful flies and effective nymphs to fish. I think it just gets overlooked a lot, and so I kind of stuck with it and attached myself to it a little bit, and yeah, it fits.
It works well.
It works very well.
The stonefly.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I have this film coming out, and I'm really excited to release it. It's got my kids in it. It talks a little bit about the backstory of my life, even deeper than this podcast does, and they just have good visuals, man. They really fucking make your boy look good. Dude,
I'm telling you, that was the first thing I said when I was talking to my videographer over there. I was like, it's art in motion, bro.
It's so
Those
cool.
Casting it's just beautiful.
They make me look like I know what I'm actually fucking doing. And that is the coolest thing. I'm like, dude, you guys got me looking like I do this?
Isn't it amazing what happens behind the screen?
It's wild.
Well, if you want to take a second, fly fishing is not like regular fishing at all. So when you regular fish, like if you're throwing a bobber or a spinner or whatever, you're just hucking it out there and then you bring it in like it's a fish or whatever it is you're trying to imitate. With a fly fish, the idea is you're presenting it like a, depending on what
you're presenting it like a bug or food that the fish eats. So whether it's like a little bait fish or like the bug in the stages that it fucking grows to turn into an actual fly on the water, you're presenting it to that, whether depending on what time it is.
Look up some dry flies on Google real quick. Essentially what you're doing is you're looking around like we were saying, and you're looking at the bugs that are in the water, see what the fish is eating, and you see what you got in your tackle box that resembles what these bugs are, and you're imitating the bug flying. Maybe it's a dry fly landing that fell out of a tree and it just lands right on top. So now not only are you letting it float downstream but you maybe give it a little twitch, like you're not reeling it in, but you give the line a little twitch, like it's trying to fly away, and
you kind of just like you're like dropping it as if it got stuck in the film of the water, and sometimes it twitches on its own as the current's taking it and turning it. And that fish, your job is to trick that fish to make it look like it's real and as lifeless as possible. So like it really fucking just died. And the fish comes up and grabs it, and you wait a second and you set the hook.
Yep.
And it's the most exhilarating thing to like wait that second. It's like,
and you can visually track your fly on top of the water into the hole, and you just see zoom. Or, if it's
sometimes
a real aggressive fish, they come and jump and they take the whole thing.
Sometimes you just see that shit just sink in the water and it's gone. And you're like, oh, it's
Go
a big
time.
one. That's a big fish usually.
Oh, dude, it's exhilarating. So, and then the other cool thing, so with like a lure or something, you reel it all the way in until it's at the tip of the rod and you just
toss it out there. You're pretty much making it to look like it's a fish fluttering. So like, with the lure, you let it sink and you reel it back up. And let it sink, and you make it injured, and the fish decides to come.
So with the fly fishing, you gotta, because these flies can get wet and they don't float as well, and
you have
to dry it out. So you'll have to pick it up, and there's no weights on your line. You have nothing that really sends it out. You have to use centrifugal force and motion to really get. You gotta pull it back 10 to 2, and you gotta wait till it crosses right here, and then you start whipping it forward so it catches the motion. And if you're not good, you'll catch your ear, and you'll really fuck up. But when you get good,
you still catch your ear when you're good.
If you got brush over the top and you can't bring it over the top, you can give it a nice little whip, and you can roll it in there. Bro, there's it's beautiful. If you watch someone who knows what they're doing, can spot the hole, can get the there's an art to getting the fly to hit this perfect spot in the ocean, so it takes not ocean but river, so it takes the current right over the hole. Dude, it's beautiful.
I love it, man. I get out there, you get a couple of these beers in you, a joint or something, and you are just one with nature, dog. The sun shining through the trees. It's gorgeous, man.
So I'll end this podcast with a sweet little story. So growing up, my grandpa would always tell me about the sister lakes out east, Lake Lenore, and they got the tiger trout out there, and I would look at these pictures, and bro, I would get so fucking jealous. And finally, he took me out there, me, my dad, and my grandpa, and so I'm used to still dry flying, river fishing, and all this. So this is really like my first lake experience. So to differentiate, in the lake, ideally what you want to do, you're fishing for trout down low. So in the river, things are not as deep as in a lake, most of the fish are up top, so you can throw dry flies or you do a little nymph, right? In the lake, you got a nymph, you're usually in some sort of boat of some sort. What I was in was literally like an armchair with flippers on, and you just flipper back and forth across the lake, right? And so what you're doing is you're casting out a nymph, you're letting it sink, you're kicking out, and then a nymph is like a baby bug. Bugs are born in the water.
It's a baby bug.
They hatch down and they rise up to the top. Then they grow wings and fly away, or however it works.
That's exactly it.
Okay. So in the lake, you want to throw a nymph down, and you're acting like a bug egg coming off the top, working towards the top, right?
That is so fun.
And so this is my first time doing it. I also took acid at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
So I'm out here with my dad, my grandpa, high on acid, nymph fishing, right?
Man, with your grandpa, does he know you took acid?
No, none of them do. And so eventually, like, I have to separate. I'm trying to talk to him, and I'm smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, they don't smoke or nothing.
Burn.
Like, bro, I'm like, I'm starting to peak, and I'm like, all right, I need to create some separation. I need to go to that side of the lake, and like, I don't know if you've ever taken acid, but like one of the symptoms is being able to get stuck in a loop, right?
Yes.
So you can imagine pure silence. Like I'm just enjoying, the visuals and everything. You're out in the middle of Eastern Washington, so there's not dick out there, but it's still beautiful. You're on a lake kicking around. Bro. And so this is how you fish, right? Kick, 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 inch, inch.
Are you in a float tube? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Kick, kick, kick. Inch.
Yep.
Dude, I'm getting caught in it just doing it right here. Kick, kick, kick. Inch. Bro, I get
Just
stuck.
on acid floating around. You're like, oh, he's over
I
there.
get stuck in the craziest loop, and I'm like, dude, the only way to break the loop is to catch a fish. You better catch a fucking fish, or
So
you're gonna lose.
fucking helps
It's
you
either
out.
catch a fish or lose your mind. Catch a fish. And like my
Damn.
dad's like saying something to me, and I'm like, can't even talk to him. Catch a fish,
Can't.
break the loop. Catch a fish, break the loop. And eventually, I just hook something, and it's enough to break the loop. And I'm like, taking off. I'm like, I need to hit the shore for a second. And as soon as I broke the loop, I was cool, but like, oh man, you almost got
That
stuck in
is
there.
fucking
It was cool.
great,
I
yeah.
never. The whole point of the trip was those tiger trout. They're these crazy hybrid.
Yeah.
Look up Lake Lenore tiger trout on the
They
way
are
out for
beautiful.
this podcast. They are one of the most beautiful fish you can find.
Yeah, it's a mix between a brook trout and a brown trout.
And if I don't mind saying, what's the number one for you? Brook, brown, rainbow? What's the prettiest fish?
The prettiest fish for me is probably going to be what they call a sea run cutthroat.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's our
So
local fish.
Lake Locksaw, or the Locksaw Lake, that's all cutthroat.
Nice. Yeah. Beautiful cutthroat.
Yeah.
Big orange stripe on the bottom, and they fight too. So my favorite is the brook trout.
Yeah.
That's the most. So a tiger trout is a
trout's
brook and a
gorgeous.
brown.
Yeah, it's a brook
So-
and a brown that is sterile, so it does not spawn, does not have babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that what? So they're all
it's
stocked.
purely a game
Yeah, it's
fish.
like a Libra.
Like, so like a tiger muskie. You ever heard of tiger muskie? It's the same thing. So it's like that name tiger is definitely a
Interesting.
cross.
That's just a cross of brook and brown.
Pretty fucking cool things, man.
Yeah, when we were on the Bighorn River, they have a ton of big ass browns, and then I think there's the Madison River.
Madison, the Gunnison, the Bighorn, all that shit.
So
Dope.
I did watch this documentary, and this dude just took oh my god, look at his hair.
Yo, I
ain't
like
sneaking
fishing
up
with
on
people
no
like
fish.
that. Like some of the places I fish in the redneck areas of Washington, I meet cats like that. I'm not even fronting, bro. Like there's some cats out there.
And they know what they're doing.
They
too.
sure do. They always got beer in their backpack.
Yeah, I watched this documentary, and he did the whole like Grand Canyon from like, God, I swear it was like Colorado all the way down
Yeah,
through
the
to
Colorado River.
Arizona and all that stuff.
Shit is
Yeah,
beautiful,
bro,
man.
it was like like a 12-day flow and just nothing but fucking fishing.
Let's go, man.
Dude,
Let's get you out there.
For real, come teach me how to grab some bass, or we'll go do some.
I
real,
got some spots
whatever,
where you,
bro.
put me on the little private lake.
Yeah,
I'll bring
we
you all
got
these beers you want.
Hey, honestly, I have a legit boat with electric motor, and like
yeah.
we'll
You
get
hear that,
it
you
up.
guys? We got a new podcast coming out the boat.
Oh, okay. Gian, dude, it has been more than a pleasure, brother, and we will do
Thank
this
you for
again
having
soon.
me, man. I appreciate
We
you guys big time.
make this a monthly thing. Or
I like
something.
this shit's fun. I can do this shit. Yeah.
Beautiful. Hey, you're watching Tac'd, and hey, I just want to say thank you guys for sticking it out with us. We're new, we're learning, lots of new gear.
This was great.
We're getting better with every show. So I fuck with you, you fuck with me. Let's keep it up.
Yes, sir.
And be on the lookout. We got a Patreon coming soon.
Dope.
I just want to take 1 minute to kind of address that. We're gonna, try and actually put out a specific commercial or something for it. But I just want you to know this. We're gonna be asking for money, but it's not for us to, go buy Benzes or some new drip, and if we do, it's gonna be from ETC. But that's what that money's
Shout
gonna go
out
to.
ETC.
We're gonna be really gearing our content towards, like, specifically, if we go and make some content for our fishing adventure, I need to go get some new gear. So I'm sure you got some local shops you can point me to.
Oh, definitely.
I can take the money from Patreon you guys are gonna support us with and go spend it with this shop. Keep local business owners and in business, and that's what this show is all about.
Yeah.
So I'll get a little bit better worded commercial in for you guys, but I just wanted to say thank you, Gian. It's been a pleasure tonight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it for having me. Thank you.
You're getting tagged in with Spencer P. Beautiful.
Tagged in.